European right-wing parties surge in polls just weeks before the elections to EU Parliament. One America's Kristian Rouz takes a look at the campaign.
A coalition of Eurosceptic parties holds yet another conference ahead of the EU general elections next month. Prominent populist right figures gathered in Prague to discuss their plans to increase the role of nation-states, end Islamic mass migration and counter political establishments in the EU. The populist leaders say political Islam poses the main threat to Western civilization.
The biggest threats to our survival today and the threats to our freedom are the European Union, mass immigration, and this terrible Islamic ideology of submission and violence.
Recent polls suggest European right-wing and patriotic movements are set to win more seats in EU Parliament this year. According to estimates, right-wing populists could claim more than 20% of the votes, while the centre-right could get at least 23%, possibly forming a wider conservative majority with smaller groups. This as mainstream bloc parties have lost public confidence over the past few years due to rampant migrant crime, Islamic extremism and a lack of individual freedom plaguing the EU.
Face to face to the EU, which looks like an empire, an entity that is hegemonic and totalitarian, we choose a nation, our nations, whose diversity and freedom contributes to the riches of Europe.
Meanwhile, populists from Eastern Europe say they oppose transferring state authority to the EU, as well as the migrant quotas imposed on member states by Brussels. But unlike British conservatives, East Europeans do not want to leave the EU. Instead, they say the bloc must change to ensure freedom, safety and economic prosperity for the people of Europe.
The EU is controlled by people, such as notorious alcoholic Jean-Claude Juncker, who most recently brought fame to himself a few weeks ago when, while drunk, he almost set fire to the presidential couple in Rwanda.
Amidst the ongoing rise of the European right, some observers say Eurosceptic parties could dominate the EU Parliament for the first time in history. And while the mainstream media claims they seek to destroy the EU, populists say that's not true, as they seek true diversity of European identities within united Europe.
The free world as we know it, the free world as we want to cherish it, has been the victim of many attacks because of this multiculturalism, this cultural relativism and this open border policy.
The populist leaders also agreed to build what they call a new European harmony following the elections, slated for May the 23rd through the 26th. Kristian Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.